Two things I can think about are two really prominent use cases. The first one would be the modernization of our loan origination platform, in which we got a big, huge monolith, which is hard to maintain, hard to make changes, hard to really understand if there's any issues. So really breaking it down into microservices had been really paying a lot of dividends to us. The second use case I can think about is actually moving a lot of our applications from an on-prem footprint into a cloud footprint, really helping on improving the RTO and RPO values and really build resilience into our tech stack. Absolutely. So one thing I can say for sure is architecture is not a one-size-fits-all, and specifically with architecture governance. So one of the things we've done fairly early in the process is understand that we don't have to run everything by architecture governance. We need to think about federation. We need to think about other tracks like fast track, where some of these very simple use cases can go through a very rapid process, which doesn't involve a lot of documentation, a lot of meetings, a lot of interactions. The other thing is we let the engineers run some of the designs by themselves, things that do not even need to go through architecture governance. So really finding those different tracks and what fits into each track has been proved to be very useful. I would say there's three things, like everything. We've got the process, people, and technology side of the house. And across these three things, I would say that on the people side of the house, we can think about training, we can think about building center of excellence, or centers where people can get together and exchange ideas around AI, and we've been doing that. On the process side of the house is really thinking about how do we build processes that are more fit towards Gen AI, really hone in on the effectivity, really hone in on the velocity advantages that Gen AI can give you. And the third, but not last, which is the tooling, is what can you do in order to bring some of that tooling tech stack to really help folks from not starting from scratch every time they want to build a Gen AI application. So we use a technical stack that's already on the ground. Yeah, I can think about two of these. The first one is what we call our North Star Steering Committee. And that is a committee in which we bring a lot of the big architecture ideas, big architecture projects very early in the process to socialize them with our executives. On the business side, on the product side, on the technology side, really bringing all of that very early to gain alignment, to gain an opportunity to really get their guidance on. The second one is really our Tech Champions Forum, in where we have a cross-functional set of experts, technical experts from all over GM Financial that come together and really help with sharing ideas, sharing knowledge, and also help us determine what is best fit. What's the best standard? What's the best reference architecture for specific use cases? So these two have been very effective. Absolutely. So I think the first thing is really knowledge sharing and learning from each other. And that is very, very useful, whether it's financial services, whether it's any other big enterprise, or even the smaller companies. All of those learnings are very interesting. The other thing is you actually do a little bit of a benchmarking here. How are you doing compared to others? Are you kind of on the right level, on the right side of the curve? Kind of get that feeling across the board when you speak to colleagues. So two things that I find to be very interesting. The first one was the session around the resilience and cybersecurity and how you do it at scale, at a large-scale enterprise. That was the Google session. The second one was really an adoption of AI inside a financial services enterprise. That's where the Fidelity session was very interesting to me to kind of understand what frameworks were used, what set of mind, how are companies looking at it from the same areas and domain we're in as well.